Good evening, everybody. Is this working? Good evening. Tim, is it working? The numbers and the yeah. Well, welcome everybody. My voice I'm very glad. Well, I'm very pleased that we're all together tonight. So, Unstoppable is our back choir who divided us as ever. She always did it live. Thank you. So, we have some announcements because this carries on with our theme of providing through the tier funds. So tonight there are 2,313 people so far have joined the quiz. That includes 76 churches. And at this point, without our money added, because it's all in the office at the moment, is £33,828. I think that's a good cheer. So, we are very fortunate that we actually have live with us tonight Mr. Danny Morris, who is going to be our quizmaster for the night. Hooray! And we have people on the screens, various places, so welcome to everybody.
Great, thank you. I think this is working. Yeah, good. Well, welcome everybody. Really looking forward to tonight. This is a quiz that people have been prepared for months. This, I know some of you have been really swatting on this. Richard, I know we talk a lot about this. You're swatting. My wife has been here for since last year. She's been swatting about this. So I know this is a big night for everybody. Is anybody here that was on a winning team last year? Just put your hand up. There you go. Wow. Wow. Pressure on you. Is there anybody here from last year that was on the losing team, as in the team that came? Hooray! Great, we've got quite a lot of those. So yes, good luck. Hope you can have a bit more pride than you had last year. Okay, so before we go any further, let's just go through the team names. And guys, we need to build up a bit of atmosphere as we do this. So when I call out your name, please make sure that everybody knows that you are here as a team, okay? So we have the Clavertons. Welcome, Clavertons. We have Clever Clogs. We shall see. And they're cheering online. Hello, Clever Clogs that are online. We have Facts of the Apostles. Woohoo! We have the Godparents, who I think are online, so they are cheering in a room somewhere else. So we welcome you, Godparents. That sounds very mafia, doesn't it? We have Mixed Blessings. Brilliant. We have No Cop Out. They're the SWATs close to us, you can tell. We have Red Hot Trivia Peppers. Welcome to you. We have the Roo Crew. And they've brought most of the bar with them tonight. So do know there are some of you here that have got serious hampers, I've noticed. It's quite impressive. We've got Make New Friends, which does sound like a dating app. We've got Not Out to Win, which looks like a stag party. Good job on the hats. Good job on the hats. So let's do a quick, where are people from? So we've got people here that live in Combe Down. Give us a cheer. How about, let's move out a little bit from Combe Down, Mulberry Park. Oh, thank you, William. So what about the Stack community? Yes. What about Moncton Combe? Wow. South Stoke. I'm from South Stoke, and we need to do better than that, South Stoke people. Who else have I missed? What about a bit further afield? And anybody here? Where's that from? Uganda. That's one. That's a bit further away, isn't it? So we've got Uganda in the room. Where else have we got in the room? Hang on. We've got lots. We've got Nigeria. We've got China and Cambridge. All online. That's fantastic. Well done, Clever Clogs. I remembered. So where else? We got Mexico. Kind of. Where else have we got? Yes, where do the Hannans live? Halatro. I don't even know where Halatro is. Is it near Uganda? No. There. So anybody else that hasn't been recognized for where you're from? Carlingcott. Fantastic. And there's another one over here. Odd Down. Welcome, Odd Down. Anybody else feeling left out? Few. We've covered everybody. Inclusion's important. Right, so this, can everybody listen in? Because otherwise it's going to go horribly wrong. Okay? This is how the quiz is going to work tonight. We have two halves to the quiz. I can't look at this team without smiling, so I'm not going to look at them. So in the first half, we are going to have 4 rounds, okay? And then at the end of the 4 rounds, we're going to swap our papers with another team and going to ask them to score it. Now, because we're in a church, we're going to trust that they're going to do it properly, okay? So then we're going to have a video from Tearfund. So remember, we're here to have fun, but there's also something serious here about us supporting our mission partners and Tearfund tonight. So we're going to have a video by Tearfund. Then we're going to have a time to refuel and refill our drinks and so on. And then William is going to have a special live interview tonight. So with surprise guests. Let me just give that as a bit of a build-up. You know who you are, surprise guest. You might be from Uganda. So then we're going to have another 4 rounds, take the scores, and then we're going to have a mystery final round. Okay? So that's the shape of the night. Now over here, we've got Jane and Sue, who are scorers. And I want you to think of a cross between Mother Teresa and Bruno from Strictly, because they bring the integrity and the panache, these two as judges, okay? So when we do the scoring, we're going to be asking you to go and tell them your scores. And if there are any debatable points, they will be able to adjudicate, okay? So some of you, I think, are even opening champagne, which I think is a bit premature, but there you go. So, are you ready? Good. We do actually have prizes tonight as well. So, okay. So the questions tonight have. Are you ready? The questions tonight have been prepared by Mensa, and the first. What's that? You don't have any pens. Do we have a spare pen in the house? We do. Okay, are you ready? So the first round is Russian literature. No, I'm joking, it's not really. Okay, the first round is sport. Okay. Shh. I'm only going to read the questions twice, okay? So question number 1, what is the length of the running race that is the last event of a decathlon? What is the length of the running race that is the last event of a decathlon? Question number 2. Eldrick is the first name of which professional golfer? Eldrick is the first name of which professional golfer? Question number 3. Which of these is not one of the colors of the Olympic rings? A, yellow, B, black, C, orange, or D, green? So which of these is not one of the colors of the Olympic rings? Is it A, yellow, B, black, C, orange, or D, green? Question number 4. In which sport do you wear a plastron to protect your chest? In which sport do you wear a plastron to protect your chest? Question number 5. How many positions are there in a netball team? How many positions are there in a netball team? Question number 6. In boxing, which of the following is the heaviest weight class? Is it A, flyweight, B, bantamweight, or C, featherweight? So in boxing, which of the following is the heaviest weight class? A, flyweight, B, bantamweight, or C, featherweight? Okay, how are you feeling about this, everybody? Sport round going well for you? Brilliant. Okay, the next round is history. So I'm going to number them again from 1 on this, so just make sure they're clear on your pieces of paper. So question 1 for history. What was South African President Nelson Mandela's political party called? What was South African President Nelson Mandela's political party called? Question number 2. What did the Romans call Scotland? other than cold. What did the Romans call Scotland? Question number 3. Which new British military force was established in 1918? Which new British military force was established in 1918? Question number 4. Before 1664, New York was known by a different name. What was it? Before 1664, New York was known by a different name. What was it? Question number 5. The very tops of the Egyptian pyramids were covered in what substance to make them shine in the sun? So the very tops of the Egyptian pyramids were covered in what substance to make them shine in the sun? And question number 6. In which year did the Titanic sink? In which year did the Titanic sink? If you haven't seen the film, I'm sorry about the spoiler there. Every year. Oh, I see. Okay, the next round. Food and drink. By the looks of you, with your food and drink, this should be a good round for you. So question number 1, and remember to make sure it's clearly labeled, so this is a food and drink round on your piece of paper. What fruit is so smelly that there are laws in Asia that forbid you from taking it on buses or into hotels? Is it A, durian, B, jackfruit, C, dragon fruit, or D, rambutan? So what fruit is so smelly that there are laws in Asia that forbid you from taking it on buses or into hotels? Is it A, durian, B, jackfruit, C, dragon fruit, or D, rambutan? Question number 2, and if Clever Cog's team don't get this right, we'll be very disappointed with you. Jollof is a popular Nigerian one-pot dish. Alongside vegetable, spices, and sometimes meat, what is the main ingredient? It's a long way to Nigeria. So jollof is a popular Nigerian one-pot dish. Alongside vegetables, spices, and meat, what is the main ingredient? Question number 3. What is the most expensive spice in the world by weight? What is the most expensive spice in the world by weight? By the way, if you're complaining about the questions, there was feedback to Tier Fund last year that the questions were too easy, so we'll have to judge whether they made them more difficult this time. Question number 4. Which country has the highest number of vegetarians? Which country has the highest number of vegetarians? Question number 5. How many segments are inside most oranges? How many segments are inside most oranges? It doesn't specify whether it's chocolate oranges. I think we must assume it's a real orange, rather than a chocolate orange, a citrus orange. Question number 6. What is the name of the large lamb and leek pasty from Wales? What is the name of the large lamb and leek pasty from Wales? Did Wales win today, by the way? 29-28. Ah. Very good. How about Scotland? Did Japan beat Scotland? Oh. Did they? England beat South Africa very well, I thought, yeah. Okay, final round before half time. Well, we've got to do the scores on it. It's on science and nature. So make sure you label this set of questions, science and nature. Question number 1. How many pairs of wings does a bee have? How many pairs of wings does a bee have? Question number 2. Which breed of domestic dog has the best sense of smell? Which breed of domestic dog has the best sense of smell? It's not mine. Question number 3. Krill is the staple food of which giant marine mammal? Krill is the staple food of which giant marine mammal? Question number 4. Which is the smallest planet in the solar system? Which is... well, I know. Which is the smallest planet in the solar system? Question number 5. How many hearts does an octopus have? How many hearts does an octopus have? Question number 6, and it's the final one, and then we'll start totaling up. In which year did Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay climb Mount Everest? Was it A, 1948, B, 1953, C, 1955, or D, 1961? So in which year did Hillary and Norgay climb Mount Everest? Was it A, 1948, B, 1953, C, 1955, or D, 1961? Okay, I'm just going to give you a minute to finish off your final answers. Please make sure your team name is really clearly put on your sheet. And then I'm going to ask you to give it to another table to mark. Great. Okay. I now need you to swap your sheets with another table, please. Please don't take any more time. Please just swap your sheets with another table. Right, has everybody exchanged their answers with another table? Is anybody still needing to do that? Okay, great. I'm now going to read the answers out. And can you listen up? Ooh, that's good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give the answers. And when you've finished scoring them, if somebody from that table who's the scoring table comes and tells the answer to the judges, and then return the sheet to the table from where it came from, okay? So, the answers. Sport, question 1. What is the length of the running race that is the last event of a decathlon? 1,500 meters. Eldrick, question number 2. Eldrick is the first name of which professional golfer? Tiger Woods. Question number 3. Which of these is not one of the colors of the Olympic rings? Yellow, black, orange, or green? It is orange. Question number 4. In which sport do you wear a plastron to protect your chest? Fencing. Question number 5. How many positions are there in a netball team? Anybody know the answer? 7. Question number 6, in boxing, this is a bit late that one. Question number 6, in boxing, which of the following is the heaviest weight class? Flyweight, bantamweight, or featherweight? It is featherweight. So, we're now on to the history round. Question number 1, what was South African President Nelson Mandela's political party called? ANC or the African National Congress? You can have it for either. Question number 2, what did the Romans call Scotland? Caledonia. Question number 3, which new British military force was established in 1918? RAF, or Royal Air Force. You can get the point for either. Question number 4, before 1664, New York was known by a different name. What was it? New Amsterdam. So we do need New Amsterdam. Question number 5. The very tops of the Egyptian pyramids were covered in what substance to make them shine in the sun? It was gold. Question number 6. In which year did the Titanic sink? 1912. So now we're doing the food and drink round. Question number 1, what fruit is so smelly that there are laws in Asia that forbid you from taking it on buses or into hotels? It was a durian. Has anybody had any of that? Anybody tried it before? Simon Gilbo's tried it. The guys over on that table, What's it like? Is it nice? It's nice. It's disgusting. Okay. Okay, question number 2. Jollof is a popular Nigerian one-pot dish. Alongside vegetables, spices, meat, what is the main ingredient? Clever clogs? It is rice. Question number 3. Somebody's getting a phone call for help on this. Question number 3. What is the most expensive spice in the world by weight? Anybody know? Saffron. Question number 4. Which country has the highest number of vegetarians? India. Question number 5. How many segments are inside most oranges? 10. Question number 6. What is the name of the large lamb and leek pasty from Wales? It's an oggy, which inspired that famous Welsh hymn, Oggy, 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 Oi, Oi, Oi. Has anybody ever had an oggy? Nobody's had an oggy. Okay, science and nature. Question number 1. How many pairs of wings does a bee have? 2. Question number 2. Which breed of domestic dog has the best sense of smell? It is a bloodhound. Question number 3. Krill is the staple food of which giant marine mammal? It's a blue whale. And we need you to say blue whale, because obviously there's lots of different types. No, I mean, whales are a whole class of mammal. What? You're bringing oggies into mammals? What? Did you bring an oggy into that? What? Oh, they all like krill. Yeah. I think of which giant marine, I suppose we need to give a half point for that. I think that's fair. Okay, question number 4. Which is the smallest planet in the solar system? Mercury. And I think the reason for that is because hasn't Pluto been declassified as a planet? Question number 5. How many hearts does an octopus have? 3. And finally, question number 6. The year of the Mount Everest conquest was B, 1953. So scorers, if you will total up so you give 1 total to the judges, and then come and tell the judges that score and return it to the table from where it came from. So what we're going to do now, if you can all just listen in a sec, we're going to do the scores after the interval. So we'll give you an update on scores after the interval. Before the interval, we're going to play a video from Tear Fund, okay? So has everybody handed in their scores? Great. So we're going to watch the video from Tear Fund now, and then we're going to have a break for about 15 minutes, I think. And there'll be cheeses and things at the back. Might I suggest that if we're sharing food, they're going to be bringing food round to your tables. Might I suggest, or just a reminder, that if you're sharing food, maybe to use hand sanitizer and things like that, just to be safe during COVID. Great. So let's watch the video, and we'll see you in a bit.
Come here, you jira am working. You jike me, but how you am okay? Na ezani me mu wira. O vi hotel opadia. Abun bo we gbe lo be ozun ha, me va mi yo dino. Abdi kamu sangat dah mulia kami yang buat babu we deh kami waktu ni.
Ces dernières années, nous sommes confrontés à l'avènement de certains aléas climatiques qui nous rendent vulnérables d'une façon générale sur les 4 coins du pays. Nous sommes face à des manques, à une rareté d'eau parce que les nappes souterraines s'épuisent très rapidement, donc la population vit cette souffrance. Et en plus de cela, les pluies sont irrégulières et les cultures n'arrivent plus à apporter de bons rendements. Face aux effets du changement climatique dans le milieu agricole, dans le milieu de l'élevage et même dans le milieu de la santé, parce que nous avons aujourd'hui des maladies, des épidémies qui se développent et cela rend vraiment vulnérables nos populations aujourd'hui.
Jardin bien moins bon. Jardin bien bon, bon bien moins oui, n'y en a ouais. Sans là.
Nous espérons qu'au bout de ce projet, nous aurons contribué énormément au renforcement des capacités des producteurs et nous aurons contribué également à l'amélioration des conditions de vie des bénéficiaires et aussi à la restauration de leur environnement.
Well, I hope you've had the opportunity for a little frivolity, slightly more food than I was expecting, and 2 tables have a lot more drink than I was expecting. But anyway, we do indeed have special guests, and some of you will have, I hope most of you have worked out who they are. It's David and Heather Sharland. So we're going to invite them to come up the front. Do sit down.
I remember TF Under Bents when we all went hungry.
Oh, not in Coombe Down. Great. It's lovely to have you. And some people know a lot about you, and some people know nothing about you. But you've, between you, clocked up many years working in all sorts of countries, but especially in Uganda. So I was going to ask you a bit about Uganda tonight, really, as thinking about the world and our World Mission Weekend. Tell us what Uganda is like. Its sort of good points and its bad points. Heather, do you want to go first? Oh, Dave, go first. Right.
Well, it's an absolutely fantastic country. We were heartbroken to leave, to be honest. But just 3 little things about Uganda. First of all, please pray for Uganda. They've had 3 big bomb blasts in Kampala recently. Quite a number of people hurt and killed. And it's terrorizing an awful lot of people. A lot of people are very scared. So I think that's one point. And also, the leader, please don't put this on the internet, but anyway, the leader is quite a strong guy. He's really keeping the country quiet. I guess you can read between the lines what I mean there. Secondly, as we've just been seeing, climate change is horribly real, but Uganda isn't nearly as bad as Burkina Faso, but it is still quite tough as the rains become shorter and people have to use those rains to grow enough food for the whole year. And those rains can sometimes come in a big blast, which can be very destructive, rather than spread over 9 months, just 6 months of very heavy rain. So that's the second one. And the third one is much more positive, is thank you very much for your prayers. Do you remember praying about locusts? Those locusts, it was absolutely incredible. We found a few locusts, what do they call them, the pioneers, and therefore expected the plague to come. But a strong north wind blew them north into an area of South Sudan where there are very few people and they did very little damage. Quite amazing. So thank you so much, because that really was a miracle. I have no doubt about it. That was quite amazing. So thank you for your prayers. That's 3 points about Uganda.
I'm just going to give you some statistics before I talk a little bit about health. When I look around this room this evening, we'd be very unique in Uganda. In Uganda, 75% of the population is below the age of 18. So you can see where Uganda is going. Even economically, it cannot survive. It needs aid from overseas because there's a very small population who are paying taxes. There's 82% under the age of 20. So you can, many of the people are at school, and then there's about 5% over the age of 60. When COVID is in Uganda like what it was here, and at the beginning, the president brought a very sharp lockdown very quickly, and that quite affected the population in that the men had to come home from work. And much as I love men, it caused chaos in the family because the women were used doing their own thing, the girls were safe and being at school. But when the men came back again, domestic violence increased tremendously. A lot of young girls were abused, women were beaten. But the sad thing was we've seen a big, big rise in child marriages because there was no woman there was no money coming into the family. So rather than suffering, the man decided he was going to sell his daughters because they get a dowry for their daughters. So as young as the age of 13, they were selling their girls as second wives. So that was really, really sad. From the health point of view, from COVID, we weren't as so well organized as here. We didn't have test kits at the beginning. So when you looked at the statistics, the numbers were incredibly low. That's because nobody was testing. But people were dying. We had heard more cries because, like a lot of African countries, when somebody dies, they cry to let people know that somebody has died. So we were hearing funerals practically every day, and they weren't calling it COVID. They just died from something quickly. And one of the jobs I was asked to do was when COVID came, was to see how many ventilators we had in West Nile in case we had to do intensive care. West Nile's the size of Israel, just to give you sort of a comparison. There was 5 ventilators, 4 of them attached to anesthetic machines. So there was only 1 free ventilator. But praise God, we never used it. People, if they died very quickly at home. And I think the good thing was that just 6 months earlier, again, you were praying about Ebola. Ebola for us was a preparation for COVID because we had to do a lot of getting people to stop touching each other, and stop shaking hands, and increase hand washing. So in West Nile, we were more prepared for COVID than the west of Uganda because people already had learned not to shake hands. So at the moment, there is a vaccine program being run out. Unfortunately, our UK government wasn't very good at giving vaccines, but Ireland stepped up and gave 3 million vaccines. America has given something like, I'm proud to be Irish, because the UK government gave 360,000 doses. That was it. Ireland gave 3 million, which is a much smaller country. America gives something like 7 million. So now we have the rollout of vaccines, which is very good.
You want to give us, in 30 seconds, a little portrait of northwest Uganda where you've lived as compared to perhaps the rest of Uganda? 30 seconds.
Really very isolated from the rest of the country. The Nile goes around us, cutting us off. There's only one bridge connecting us to the rest of the country. And most of Uganda is quite frightened of West Nile because that's where Idi Amin came from. That's where the Lord's Resistance Army were based. There's been a lot of trouble up there. And the people really feel quite neglected compared with the rest of the country. They feel underprivileged, if you like, compared with the rest of Uganda. But, yep, it's beautiful. They're amazing people. They're very resilient people. But they're having to change very quickly, partly because of technology. Technologies come very fast, but many, many people have no access to that. And also, as you've heard from Heather, the population is rising so fast. How on earth are they going to feed themselves? So, I mean, I, as a farmer, I was encouraging people, how can they get more food off a small bit of land? How can they increase the fertility of the soil and that kind of thing? How can they feed that family for a year from 1 acre, 1.5 acres? Quite a challenge, but possible.
Part of Uganda is surrounded by 2 borders. So it's a lot of refugees. There's over 1 million South Sudanese refugees and over 300,000 refugees from DRC Congo. So not only do we have our indigenous population, but we have got a very high number of refugees.
Great, thank you. David and Heather here for the whole weekend, so they'll be here at 9 o'clock in Holy Trinity tomorrow morning and 10:30 in St Andrews. They'll be here at the lunch we're having tomorrow at 12:45 in St Andrews. So if you haven't signed up for that, it's technically, I'm sure, too late, but I would just turn up. I've seen how much food. If you're a vegetarian, there is far too much food, because only one person has signed up to be a vegetarian, and I've seen the shepherd's pie. So do just turn up, and we'll try and feed you. Thank you very much. We'll see you again tomorrow. Back to Danny.
Great. So we've got our final, or our second half to go on now. I have noticed there's been more drinks going out, and actually the table with the bar has also got cheesecake. Did anybody else bring cheesecake? I think they're kind of a posh table, those tables. Yeah, there you go. There was a cheesecake there. They've demolished it. Okay, you probably want to hear the scores on the doors. Okay. So I'm going to give you a summary of the scores starting from the bottom. So, at the bottom, supporting everybody else, no cop out. On 13, so you guys got 13. Then we've got two teams tying at 15, which are Mixed Blessings and Not Out to Win. Next up, at 16 points, are the Godparents. They're the ones that are online, so if you don't hear them cheering, that's why. Next up at 17 are the Clavertons. Next up is a tie at 18 between Red Hot Trivia Peppers and Clever Clogs. Next up, Facts of the Apostles at 19. And then we have a tie on 20 for the Roo Crew and Make New Friends. So, we've got 4 more rounds, then we'll take the scores in, and then we'll have a final round, just to keep it tense for everybody. So this round is geography. Question 1. What is the name of the people group living in the valleys of Khumbu, Nepal, who often act as porters for trekkers? What is the name of the people group living in the valleys of Khumbu, Nepal, who often act as porters for trekkers? Question number 2. What is the name of the stretch of water that separates Anglesey and mainland Wales? What is the name of the stretch of water that separates Anglesey and mainland Wales? Question number 3. Which river flows through Paris, France? Which river flows through Paris in France? Question number 4. The landmark Journey's End signpost was installed in 1964 as a visitor attraction in which Scottish village? The landmark Journey's End signpost was installed in 1964 as a visitor attraction in which Scottish village? Question number 5. Which is the biggest desert in the world? Which is the biggest desert in the world? Question number 6. How many counties make up Northern Ireland? Heads turned at that point. I can't think why. How many counties make up Northern Ireland? Okay, the next round is entertainment, and I'm not going to read these out because they're going to appear on the screens. Hopefully. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to answer these. Can't read them? We anticipated that problem. There you go. There you go. Can't see there? Have a look at that. Sorry. How you doing? You need a bit more time on that one? I'll give you another couple of minutes. Okay. So the image of Elvis reminded me of that lovely stat from a few years ago. Did you know that in 1977, the year that Elvis died, there were 170 known Elvis impersonators in the world? Yes, Elvis is dead. Sorry to break that news to you. So in 1977, there were 170 known Elvis impersonators in the world. In 1997, that number had grown to a staggering 87,000. And it was calculated that if at that rate of growth, if that continued, by the year 2019, 1 in 3 of the world's population would be an Elvis impersonator. Now, there are about 60 people in this room. Many of you don't know that William Chalice is actually an Elvis impersonator. No, it's not true. It's not true. Okay, next round. Arts and culture. I think this is going to be a struggle for most of you. Question number 1. The Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci is on display in which Paris museum and art gallery? The Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci is on display in which Paris museum and art gallery? Question number 2. Which Shakespearean tragedy features the characters of Goneril, Regan, and Cordelia? Is it A, King Lear, B, Othello, or C, Hamlet, or D, Macbeth? So which Shakespearean tragedy features the characters of Goneril, Regan, and Cordelia? Is it A, King Lear, B, Othello, C, Hamlet, or D, Macbeth? Question number 3. Guernica, The Weeping Woman, and Le Rêve are all works by which Spanish artist? Guernica, The Weeping Woman, and Le Rêve are all works by which Spanish artist? Question number 4. I don't know how to say this person's surname, but I'll spell it. Liz Pichon, Pichon, is the author of a series of children's books about a schoolboy and an expert doodler. What is his name? Liz Pichon, Pichon, is the author of a series of children's books about a schoolboy and an expert doodler. What is his name? Question number 5. What was the author and theologian C.S. Lewis's first name? What was the author and theologian C.S. Lewis's first name? Give you a clue, it wasn't Clint. Just in case you were wondering. I'd be impressed. Do you know what his friends called him? No, seriously, his friends didn't call him by his first name. They called him something else. His friends called him Jack, but it's not what his real name is. You got no bonus for knowing that. It doesn't begin with C. Sorry. Question number 6. Sir Quentin Saxby Blake is an English cartoonist and children's writer best known for illustrating books by which Welsh author? Sir Quentin Saxby Blake is an English cartoonist and children's writer best known for illustrating books by which Welsh author? Okay, the next round is a good news round. So question number 1. In April 2020, which Nordic country became one of 3 European nations to cease burning coal for energy? In April 2020, which Nordic country became one of 3 European nations to cease burning coal for energy? Question number 2. Which American country singer donated $1 million for COVID-19 vaccine research? Which American country singer donated $1 million for COVID-19 vaccine research? Question number 3. In March 2020, a herd of which wild animals invaded the Welsh coastal town of Llandudno during lockdown? Those people who are Welsh here, forgive my pronunciation. In March 2020, a herd of which wild animals invaded the Welsh coastal town of Llandudno during lockdown? Question number 4. In February 2020, which European capital city became the first in the world to have a zero-emissions postal service? Was it A, Berlin, B, Dublin, C, London, or D, Paris? In February 2020, which European capital city became the first in the world to have a zero-emissions postal service? Was it A, Berlin, B, Dublin, C, London, or D, Paris? Question number 5. After pressure from children, which toy manufacturer will phase out single-use plastic within the next year? After pressure from children, which toy manufacturer will phase out single-use plastic within the next year? Question number 6. What percentage of waste plastic in Halifax, Nova Scotia, in Canada, is now recycled to produce building blocks? A, 20%, B, 45%, C, 70%, or D, 80%? So what percentage of waste plastic in Halifax, Nova Scotia, in Canada, is now recycled to produce building blocks? Is it A, 20%, B, 45%, C, 70%, or D, 80%? Great, I'm going to give you a minute to just tidy up your answers, and then please find another table to score them for you. Okay, so please now exchange your answers with another table, and I'm going to read out what the right answers are. Okay, has everybody exchanged with another team? Okay, I'm going to start reading out the answers. Okay, question number 1. What is the name of the people group living in the valleys of Khumbu, Nepal, who often act as porters for trekkers? Sherpa. Question number 2. What is the name of the stretch of water that separates Anglesey and mainland Wales? The Menai Strait. There's a real Welsh flavour to these questions, isn't there? Question number 3, which river flows through Paris, France? The Seine. Question number 4, the landmark Journey's End signpost was installed in 1964 as a visitor attraction in which Scottish village? John O'Groats. Question number 5, which is the biggest desert in the world? Antarctic. Question number 6. How many counties make up Northern Ireland? 6. Tim, can you put the pictures back up? Thank you. So, entertainment. Name this children's TV program. It's Peppa Pig. I think these are quite easy. Number 2. Name the hip-hop song from 1990. Was it? Ice Ice Baby. Ice Ice Baby. Question number 3, name this historical drama. It is Call the Midwife. Question number 4, name this song, which was the best-selling single of 2020. Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. If you just said Blinding Lights, that's fine. Question number 5, name this long-running TV show. Doctor Who. Number 6, name this legendary pop rock song from 1972. Starman by David Bowie. Great. Oh gosh. The drink has finally hit people, I can tell. Arts and culture. Number 1, the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci is on display in which Paris Museum and Art Gallery? It's the Louvre. Question number 2, which Shakespearean tragedy features the characters of Goneril, Regan, and Cordelia? It's King Lear. Question 3, Guernica, the Weeping Woman, and Le Rêve are all works by which Spanish artist? Picasso. Question 4, Liz Pichon is the author of a series of children's books about a schoolboy and an expert doodler. His name is Tom Gates. Question number 5, what was the author and theologian C.S. Lewis's first name? Clive. What was his middle name, Matt? Staples. But if you've just got Clive, that's the right answer. Okay, question 6. Sir Quentin Saxby Blake is an English cartoonist and children's writer, best known for illustrating books by which Welsh author? Roald Dahl, yes. He was born in Cardiff. I don't know why everything's about Wales. I think probably Tier Fund's being taken over. Okay, so good news round. In April 2020, which Nordic country became one of 3 European nations to cease burning coal for energy? It is. It is the Nordic country of Wales. You're right there. It's Sweden. Question 2, which American country singer donated $1 million for COVID vaccine? Of course, it's everybody's favorite country singer, Dolly Parton. I can't actually read the answer on this. In number 3, in March 2020, a herd of which wild animals invaded the Welsh coastal town of Llandudno during lockdown? Do you know what it is? I think it's goats. I think it is goats. Question number 4, in February 2020, which European capital city became the first in the world to have a zero emissions postal service? Was it Berlin, Dublin, London, or Paris? It was Dublin. Number 5, after pressure from children, which toy manufacturer will phase out single-use plastic within the next year? Lego. And number 6, what percentage of waste plastic in Halifax, Nova Scotia, in Canada, is now recycled to produce building blocks? It's 80%. So what we're going to do, just total up, get one score from the last 4 rounds, and take it up to Jane. Then have a little bit of a mingle on your table whilst we put the main table together, and we will give you an update on the scores, and then we will have a final round, which is to ask you to perform your favorite ABBA song. No, it's not. It's a special secret round. Shh, keep it quiet. Gotta build it up, gotta build it up. Right, do we have all scores in? Okay, we have a team here. We don't know who the team is. It's got red or pink writing on it. Can you just put your name on it? The same number in each. Thank you. Back to the apostles. Okay. So. Okay. So, let me give you the scores, an update on the scores from the bottom. Mixed Blessings on 28. Then we've got No Cop Out at 32. On 34, Not Out to Win and the Clavertons. Joint on 36 are the Godparents, who are with us streaming, and Clever Clogs. Next up on 38 is Make New Friends. Then we've got a tie. Oh, it's really close at the top. We've got a tie, and you were looking at the answers earlier. Red Hot Trivia Peppers and the Roo Crew are on 39. And at the top, Facts of the Apostles on 40. So, it's worth a final round. At the top and at the bottom, there's plenty of space for movement. So we've got a special round, which is we're going to put a sheet on your table, and we're asking you to identify the people on the table. And we're going to, when you've done it, we're going to ask you then to bring up your results to Jane and Sue, and they will score it. Okay? And the clue is, this is in a church, these people are famous Christians. Now, when I say famous, some of them are truly famous, and others may be famous if you know this church. So you may need some help if you don't attend this church. By the way, it's not too late to bribe the quiz master and judges with food and wine. Just saying. Okay? must press you. It's 9:30. We should be finishing, really. So if we can have your answers, please. Okay, another 30 seconds, and then I need all answers in, please. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so whilst the scores are being totaled up, I will give you the answers to that round. So, picture number 1 is Katie the Curate. And also looking like Audrey Hepburn, but it is actually Katie the Curate. Question number 2, or picture number 2. Yeah, Justin Welby, Archbishop of Canterbury. Question number 3, it is the Vicar Sean. I have to say, rather embarrassingly, when Tim showed me that, I thought it was a woman, and he found that very funny. Number 4, Cliff. Number 5, Stuart McLaughlin, who's the youth minister. And picture number 6. It is not President Macron. It is Dan Walker from BBC TV. So just talk amongst yourselves for a minute or two whilst we total up. Right, okay. So we got the final scores, but I have to say there have been some interesting things that were written on that as answers for that last round. We the picture that was Stuart. One team thought it was a woman called Catherine Booth, who was a Victorian woman, and one team thought it was Bob Marley. So here are the. I need my glasses. Here are the scores, and there are prizes. And there is a prize for the team that comes last. And the team that came last, and you need to come and get your prize, Mixed Blessings on 33. Bravo. Next up, on 36, No Cop Out. Well done, No Cop Out. Next up on 38 is Clever Clogs. Then we've got the Clavertons on 39. Not Out to Win on 40. But let us just pause for a moment with Not Out to Win, because we have a special prize here. So next up on 41, and we'll have to cheer them so that they can hear us, are the godparents. What on godparents? And then next up on 43 is Holy Trinity's dating team, Make New Friends. And here's a challenge. At second, we have a tie, and so you may need to share the prize that comes for second. It's the Red Hot Trivia Peppers and the Roo Crew. So we have... You're going to have to share them. I think that's true. I know how much sugar you guys have had at the back. It's been quite a lot. So the winners, of course, are the Facts of the Apostles on 46. But wait, we have one final prize, don't we, see? Well, a lot of countries represented, yeah.
Yes, but then over there we have, I agree, but, and China, and we've got Northern Ireland. Oh, what do we think? Votes for this table over here. Votes for the table at the back.
Hooray!
Oh, I'm afraid they get it, okay.
So well done. Look, thanks so much for everybody. We've got William that's just going to come and say a closing thought. But thanks for everybody for making this a really fun night, and see you next year.
Sorry, the Mexican wave is beginning to die out, I'm afraid. Thank you, Danny, very much, and thank you for being our quiz master, and thank you to our lovely scorers, neither of whom is called Samantha. But if you don't get that joke, you're too young. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, what else have we got here? Oh. Jane, no, thank you very much. And thank you to Tim, who's on IT, and has spent his entire week doing IT for the mission weekend, some of it at fairly short notice, And thank you to my colleague Sue, and thank you especially to Elizabeth, Liz from the office, who isn't here. I don't know if she's online, but she has put a huge amount of work into this and making sure that it all worked, which it did. And so a huge thank you to everybody. Thank you all for coming. In a moment, after I prayed, we do need to put these tables away, and I gather they go in there somewhere, and put the pews back in roughly the right order. So if everybody can dive in, that would be great. Could you please take your empties with you, that table and that table? Because we don't have the resources for glass recycling at church. Let's pray, and we hope to see you all tomorrow morning, and David and Heather will be around, as we say, and we have lots of other visitors tomorrow to share in our mission weekend, so do come along then. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for the fun of this evening, and thank you that in the fun we've learnt a little bit more about your world and your work. And we pray you'll watch over us now as we go to our homes, give us a good night's sleep, and strengthen us to worship you tomorrow. In Jesus' name. Amen. So a bit of help with the tables, a bit of help with general clearing up will be fantastic. Thank you very much.